Good morning. We're going to talk about absolutely nothing, kind of like the Seinfeld thing. Hopefully it's not raining. Got my winter hat on. Doo-doo-doo. You don't need to see my boogers. All right. Oh, good morning. Sorry, I was looking at my son's van. I guess he moved it last night. So probably thinking that my daughter had to go to school late, but she's off. So here's the latest. Those of you who've seen me walk and talk with the white cat. Well, the white cat was killed by a car. Oh, we assume probably Friday night, because that's when she disappeared. So my son was in St. Louis. I didn't want to announce it on the interwebs before we told him, but we didn't want to ruin his St. Louis trip, so that's why I didn't say anything. But everybody's pretty sad about it. Thing is, she had to go like way over there to do it, which was odd. So we're trying to keep our cat, our only cat left. Try to keep him inside now. So my morning coffee lives on the other channel might become noisy because he's gonna want out. But anyways, it's been raining. All the leaves are getting sticky, right? So, but so topic of today, and I'll get to the comments here. You know how I roll. Let people come in, and then I'll pay attention to you guys after I say what I need to say. Gratitude and self-awareness. Here's the thing. Us YouTubers love to say the phrase, here's the thing. So, if you have self-awareness, you have a superpower. Because think about the whole Karen thing, right? You watch these videos. Oh, there's a good YouTube channel called DC Shorts. They'll show these people going in the Starbucks and having a fit over their cup of coffee being made wrong, or their Taco Bell's made wrong, or they didn't get enough sauces at McDonald's, or they're beating each other up for Popeye's chicken sandwiches. And these people are literally acting like a 5-year-old at the supermarket having its tantrum, right? And when you're 5 years old, you don't have that self-awareness. But when you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s and you don't have that self-awareness, that's weakness. I've made an ass of myself on YouTube. And once I was aware of just how much I was, that's when I started to change things around. That's when I made it a rule not to drink and go live. Because I used to do that with Periscope. The original live platform that we all started doing before YouTube did. And because, that's the thing, when you're drunk, you're not aware of what you're doing. So my habit was, I'd have a little bit of rum, usually Bacardi 151. They're saying, oh, I'm apologizing to people the next morning because everybody's mad at me. And it's like, what kind of life is that? Well, alcohol kills your self-awareness. You're not aware of what you're doing. You're not aware of what you're saying. You know, when you're being a Karen about your stupid mocha, frappe, cappuccino bullcrap, as I call it, liberal cootie juice at Starbucks, you've lost your sense of self-awareness. Because if you recognized just how ridiculous you look, you may not do that. Now, people are like, well, you shouldn't care what other people think about you. This is true, but you need to care about what you think about yourself. And if you can't see the ability to recognize when you're being an ass, then you're going to struggle through life. You're going to, and not the good kind of struggle, not the kind of struggles that teach you lessons. That's the thing. That's something, you know, so gratitude is the first step to self-aware. Someone does something nice for you. If you're aware of it, you thank them for that. And you now have a taste of humility. And, you know, like, I'm grateful that I'm able to walk. I'm grateful that I have these great shoes. I'm grateful to be talking on a platform, putting my thoughts out there like a journal. I'm grateful for this peaceful street. I'm grateful for the warm house I have. I'm grateful for the drivers that in the blessings that they have. I'm grateful that I'm going to be able to sell my trailer. I'm grateful that of the blessings that that's going to create. I'm grateful for the hardships it's also going to create. You know, and so when I look back at my life, once I started showing gratitude, that was your first step to self-awareness. So think about this. Let's say you're a Karen at Starbucks and you're mad because, hell, maybe they misgendered you. Maybe they wrote your name down wrong. Or maybe they screwed up your order. If you go in there grateful that you can even buy a stupid cup of liberal cootie juice, and you're grateful of the person that's making your coffee for you, and you're grateful that you have the ability to walk in, and you're grateful that you even have a Starbucks there, then you're not going to act like a butt. Now, if they make an honest mistake, having some humility will be like, you know what? Everybody makes mistakes. I make mistakes. So why should I judge and be mean to someone for making a mistake? Now, if an employee is being, you know, extra dirty to you because they're an ass, well, then you have to learn to recognize that, show some grace, and not take part in their establishment. It's kind of how life works. But the ability for gratitude and the ability for self-awareness is such a superpower because it gives you a better outlook in life. And I'll use a perfect example. And again, I'll get to the comments here in a second. Here's the perfect example. Musicians. the first time a guitar player or a vocalist goes into a studio, you want to talk about humbleness. Holy moly. You might think that you're this awesome singer, and you might think you're an awesome guitar player, but man, once you're under the microscope, which is also called the microphone, you start to realize that you're not as perfect as you think you are. And we all know that a singer that's not self-aware of how horrible they are is a bad thing. So, and that's where constructive criticism comes in. The ability to take constructive criticism is important. You know, when someone goes, hey man, that solo was a little bit sloppy, and if you're not self-aware, you're gonna be like, screw you, dude, and you're gonna continue to play sloppy, right? That's where self-awareness is a superpower, right? If you're aware that you suck, if you're aware that you're playing sloppy, you're gonna do better. You're gonna try to do what you can, or you're gonna improvise to do something different or to do something better, right? And that's the key. Self-awareness. That's your superpower. And that's something that so many of us lack. You know, and I go through seasons where I don't have self-awareness. How's it going? Good morning. And, you know, it's important. That's, to me, my life started to change when I started showing gratitude for the things that I had. Even for the bad moments, like, you know, your truck's broken down on the side of the road. You know, I was grateful that I was able to get over to a shoulder. I was grateful that I had the means to make the repair. I was grateful that there was a Love's 5 miles away that could have tended to the tire. You know, I'm grateful that I have the resources and the mental strength to deal with that. And, you know, as a truck driver, you need to have the ability to be able to accept the stresses that come across in your life, because if you don't, you're driving a 80,000 pound death machine with no ability to cope. That's not a good thing, man. And you see it over and over in some of these, you know, dash cam compilation videos with these road rage incidents, you know. So self-awareness, man, I can't express it enough. So that's your superpower. You want some superpowers? Self-awareness. To recognize when you're screwing up, to recognize that when your business is not doing well, to recognize when to take action. You may not know what action to take, but you can at least know when to take action. Hey, you know what? Owning a truck is not for me, man. So what do I do next? Well, that little realization is the first step in answering the question to solving that problem. You know, that's what ifs are for. Well, what if I go out of business? What am I going to do? What if the truck breaks down? What am I going to do? What if my mom passes away and I'm 1,000 miles away? What do I do? What if my fuel card gets shut off? What do I do? And if you're aware, oh crap, I don't have a means to pay for fuel if my fuel card's shut off, that awareness alone will create an action, right? That's the key. You know, I think we're all living in delusions of grandeur. I wrote a song about it years ago. And I think we're all living delusional. If I'm an excellent guitar player, or I think I'm an excellent guitar player, and the studio guy says, dude, that sucked, and I go, screw you, dude. Well, now I don't have a recording, or I'm going to have a horrible recording that will immortalize my sloppy playing. That was a disconnect from what I truly, really am. So, I had to recognize, think about this. I hated watching videos of myself. I still kind of do. But, when I was close to 400 pounds, I didn't feel like I was close to 400 pounds. Photography and videography is a great way to create self-awareness. Because you sit there and you're like, oh, wow, I'm close to 400 pounds. I don't look healthy. I don't look good. I don't look happy. And so, therefore, I'm just not going to watch any videos of myself. Well, that's not really a good positive action, is it? If I get on YouTube and rant and rave about something stupid that really doesn't matter on my deathbed, then and I refuse to watch that, I'm never going to be aware that, what? Maybe don't get on YouTube and be an ass. Right? So, anyways, let's go over the comments here. Pigtail, good morning. Grafton, good morning. Yarrow Worth, good morning. Greg Zimmer, Sterling, call me later. Sorry to hear that. Okay, about the cat. Thank you, Sean. IETC. Grafton, love cats. Flatbed trucker. I like noisy cats. They remind me to talk more. Unfortunately, it's only going to become savage as the economy declines. Yes. Drunk YouTube is the best YouTube. Not for me. People have a perverse attraction to indignity, watching and instigating indignity. That is true. Because what that does is that makes me like, oh, watching someone else fail, watching someone else falter reminds me that I'm better off than that. So, look in the National Enquirer. What was their deal? Brad Pitt at his worst. Because we all want to feel like Brad Pitt's got weaknesses because he gets all the hot chicks, right? I mean, that's how the National Enquirer, and that's a human emotion. Absolutely, this is the season for being introspective and thankful. Pigtail says, wise words. Jeffrey Like in the house. Steve, good morning. Good morning. Mr. Charles is in the house. Self-awareness usually leads to humility. Jose says, good morning. Just right in the Ozarks. It is just right, isn't it? Perfect fall day. Hopefully it doesn't start raining. Please leave this up. I want to catch replay. So what will happen is it will go private, but then I'll make it back to public. So just keep that in mind. Self-awareness is good, but it has to be paired with an action or activity. Otherwise, it could destroy a mind. Yes, Mr. Charles, I agree with you 100%. But the awareness is the first step. And that's a lot of people aren't aware. I mean, there are people literally destroying everything that they worked for because they can't see what's really going on in their lives. And yeah, you're right. Action has to be a thing. You can sit there, you have a lot of people who are like, well, I suck. I don't know what I'm doing. That kind of self-awareness without action is not a superpower. All it is beating yourself up, and you're basically praying to a negative emotion, and you make a, you know, you're praying to your negative emotion, and you make a horrible God. So, you know, and that's where strength from beyond has to come in. That's where, you know, you have to have some kind of spirituality or faith in something, so it can help you create action from your self-awareness. And gratitude is usually a great place to start. And like, it's, you know, I can sit here. So here's the difference, right? Well, I'm not going to go for a walk today. It's cold, wet, miserable. It's 28 degrees. You know, it's wet. You know, or I could be like, man, I'm glad I have good walking shoes. I'm glad to be able to walk. The temperature is almost perfect because I'm not going to build up sweat. It's not raining, and I have a Ziploc bag in my, let me stay out of the mud. I have a Ziploc bag in my pocket just in case it does start raining to put my phone in. You know, I did the what if. See what I did there? And I checked the radar. I'm grateful to have the radar to check before I started on my walk. And I'm grateful that this is the time when I probably am not going to be bothered. Watch my phone ring at this point. You know, and I'm grateful that this street is pretty peaceful and that the homeless aren't out and about right now. And, you know, I'm also thankful for the tools that I have on me to take care of things if things go south. You know, so that's the thing. So I don't know if the comments have stopped or whatever, but I know YouTube's been glitchy about the comments. Last time that happened, Sterling was texting me on my other phone, which I didn't have on me, telling me that the comments were there. So, but as you can tell, I've had a little bit of coffee this morning, and I just felt inspired. And I thought this week was going to be nothing but death and misery, you know, starting off with the death of our cat. And you know, my son, his van broke down in St. Louis, but we got him home, and we're probably going to deal with that today. I actually got to do some dispatch yesterday, which will help the wallet. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't own equipment anymore, but I still own I'm still a dispatch service. I still have the YouTube. You know, I still have, you know, the equipment was just going to take money away. It wasn't earning anything. So, because it's tough to earn something right now in trucking. And a lot of people that don't have self-awareness don't realize that they're already out of business. They just don't know it yet. They're not going to know it until they lose everything. Family, house, wife, kids, health. And that lack of self-awareness is going to put them in a dark place. They got to rise above that. You got to rise above that. You know? And that's where faith has to come in. If my house was to burn down, as long as everybody was safe and, you know, stuff can be replaced. And, you know, it's only through the grace of God that I'd be alive. You know, the family would be alive. You know, and we can always get another home. We always have friends and family to stay with. You know, and if we didn't have that, then we would have to create a plan. You know, but how do you survive something like that? How do you survive a trauma like that, like an accident, losing a loved one to a car accident? That's another thing that I've had to think about as it gets more and more dangerous on the roads. You know, so, you know, faith would probably be the only thing sustaining me through a situation like that. I don't know how atheists and agnostics cannot sit there and well, when you die, you're just worm food. You're just a hole in the ground. You're just ashes in some damn field. Man, what kind of a sad belief is that? Right? Your energy goes somewhere. You know, we all have energy. We all have souls. That has to go somewhere. Where's yours going? So, we were hoping to meet up, but we both have the flu. It's awful. Yeah, the wife's not feeling good. Her, whatever she has turned into a full-blown cold. We hope it's not COVID. And that might ruin Thanksgiving if she's not better. Which this happened last year kind of as well. So hope you guys get better. I'm well aware that I live a life of foolishness and nonsense, but it's better than being a grown-up. Yeah, but you make steps to make sure that you can live like that, though. I've seen how generous you are on the YouTubes. And so life is, you know, you've got blessings, so you share the blessings. That's an act of love. And if people would just love themselves, like in a good way, you know, they wouldn't be so nasty to everybody else. Some people have no souls, says Shannon. I'm taking a break finally. Coffee time. Good deal, Tolga. DIY Semi, hello. Praying for you, brother, and your family. Thank you, Shannon. Or is that for me? I love me and everyone. DIY says Tolga. And I'm so, you know, it's Thanksgiving week. I'm grateful for the friends that I have. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for all of you that guys and gals that follow me on YouTube and listen to my ramblings of nonsense. I'm thankful for the leadership of people like Jeff and Adam and Sterling and Pigtail. I'm grateful that, you know, I have a good circle of people that I can rely on, and then they can rely on me as well. You know, listen to all the birds. They're all in this tree. What up? Get pooped on if I hang out here too long. Don't want that. It's dumb being pooped on. So I'm thankful that I have the platform to help people. I think that's the most rewarding thing about this. I don't think I was helping people sitting at a dock for 6 hours waiting for some forklift guy to get off his ass and unload me. I don't think I was very effective there. So I found the role in trucking that allows me to be effective and to utilize my time wisely. So, DIY. I'm running shorty game today around Michigan. This will be interesting. Well, Shannon, here's the deal. Just know that the likelihood of you deadheading home today or tomorrow is, for quite a ways, is very high. Don and I tried playing the short game and his loads kept canceling and there was literally nothing left. So had a driver that needed to be up in Michigan, so we got to Michigan a day early and we got one shorty, but the shorty won't take him too far from the house if he has to go home. And that's how I always handle Thanksgiving, because especially in a down market, you're going to have, now this is for van, reefer might be a little bit different, but low cancellations out the yin yang. You know, We had a driver that had 4 cancellations in one day. I mean, that's frustrating. You're trying to make some money, trying to get home, you're 1,000 miles away, and loads keep canceling. So I always made sure that I was not landing somewhere on Tuesday or Wednesday that wasn't close enough to get home with. And living in Missouri, you know, that made it easy. But, you know, if you live somewhere, you might as well just, if you live somewhere that's a little bit off the beaten path, you might as well just take the whole week off. So that's where the first 2 weeks of November are go time. And that's when I learned that you really didn't make that much more money staying out for Thanksgiving. So why ruin a family's holiday or make their holidays worse by not being home and not making money? I'd rather be home and not making money. You know, of course, if your costs are too high, you don't have that choice. That's not freedom. A lot of people don't have freedom because their costs are too dang high. You know, and that might be self-inflicted or it might not be. Maybe a deer ran out and completely obliterated your radiator and DPF system. You know, and that $4,000 a month truck note isn't gonna halt itself. You know, because your truck's down for 2 months because of a deer. You know, that's not self-inflicted. So it's just a matter of figuring that out. And what I found was I wanted to make my money till the second week in November. So between November and December, I could be home more often. And one time I wanted to be home completely. So, because, you know, especially when the kids were younger, you know, that my wife was, you know, had to take the burden of all the Christmas stuff and all the special school events that happened, you know, around this time of year. And, you know, there's usually some Christmas concert or something like that that I need to be home for. So it was just easier for me to go, you know what, I'll just run the short game between the 1st of December and December 15th. That way I can get home when something needs to, you know, because low cancellations, there's going to be a lot of them in the next month and a half. So don't think that. So I have a load picking up, I picked up yesterday for a driver. It's usually a springtime load. So it's a non-perishable item, but it's something that goes, you know, it's something that usually doesn't run until January, February, and they're shipping that in November. So just take that reality and figure out what you're going to do with that information, if anything. So it's and if my words create fear, then you need to address that and figure out why and have a plan of action to create the scenario that you're going to need, but more importantly, what your family is going to need. You need to be present for them. You need to be present for your children. You need to be present for your spouse. Because if you're not, what's the point? What's the point of all this money if you don't have any of that? What's the point of being $200,000 in debt over a truck and trailer and your authority if you don't have anybody to share that with? Right? What good is that? What good is all that if you lose your house, that your family, you know, I know a couple of people that lost their house because of how their business fell apart. You know, foreclosure is a bitch, right? Repos are going to be common. You want to start a business today? Start a repo business. You'll make money. So all right, I'm back. So, anyways, these are my thoughts. Thank you, Steve. Needed this today. Been trying to find my joy and direction in life again. Charles, I know you're struggling, dude. You still have my phone number. And, you know I'm not always the easiest person to get a hold of, but, you know, you can always call me, dude, and I'll at least call you back. Even if you have to send me a reminder text. You know, that's what we're all here for. So let me see if I can do this here. There we go. All right. I love this tripod thing. Thank you to the person that donated it. Steve, give me a call later if you aren't busy. I will. Probably shortly after this live feed. I'm going to check on a couple of things, and I got to check my other phone, make sure the bank didn't call me, because I should be getting the money today. And then I get to go car shopping, which, you know those Karens I was talking about earlier at the Starbucks? Well, that's me at a car lot. That's how I am. So I always have to take a deep breath and remember that these people's jobs suck and they hate their lives. And so I try not to let that reflect me. So, and yes, if you sell cars, you probably hate your life. Just saying. Praying for you, Mr. Charles. Yeah, let's everybody give some prayers to Charles. Right? He needs them. And, we all need them, right? We all need some help. We all need some guidance. We all need some, I know I need a swift kick in the face sometimes. You know, sometimes I don't want to be kicked in the face because this beauty, it's hard to maintain, right? So, I kid. I know I'm ugly. It's okay. But I'm self-aware that your beard looks like a homeless guy. Like, okay. I'm not homeless. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Again, this is going to go private real quick, but then I'll make it public. I'm going to keep this one up. The last one I didn't keep up. So, and if I can, look, here's the thing. Here's what I need from you guys. If I can get this to 1,000 subs and 3,000 hours, then I don't have to make that adjustment, because YouTube will not automatically make it private, where I have to go in and redo it. So just help me out. Help a person out. So, ironically, the most popular videos on this channel is all my gun holster stuff that I've done. So I don't think I'll ever be monetized, but if I can at least get to the point that I can, you know, not have to go to the video and make it public again, that would be handy. If I can get super chats on this channel, that would be great. I don't ever expect to get AdSense on this channel, because I talk about that. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. I hope you get home safe to your families. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. If you are working, I hope you're profitable, and I hope you're happy. But also, if you're blessed, be a blessing. Peace.